Welcome to the pregame lineup card. This is Lexi Schweinert, and for Chris Atterbury, we are at Target Field gearing up for the three-game series against the Baltimore Orioles and the last games before the All-Star break. The Twins had an off day yesterday after a three-game series sweep against the Royals. The Orioles just won the last two of a four-game series against the Yankees, including a 14-1 win over New York yesterday. Yes, that's a baseball score, not a football score, and that was their 51st win of the season. Bailey Ober on the mound for the Twins. His last outing was against the Orioles. Last Saturday, he went 7 shutout innings, only allowing 2 hits. Cole Irvin pitching for Baltimore. His last outing similarly was also against Minnesota. The 6'4 lefty is 1-3 on the season with a 6.32 ERA and 28 strikeouts. Coming up on the pregame lineup card, we're going to hear from Corey Provis and manager Rocco Baldelli. Kyle Farmer talks about his All-Star break plans in an all-new farmers market. Plus, we hear what Jose Miranda worked on down in AAA. Before we talk any more about any of that, let's rewind and look at the Twins' last game. Royals rookie Alec Marsh pitching. Eddie Julian hit a solo homer to put the Twins up in the first. Runs piled on for the Twins with a 2-run single from Kirilloff plus a home run from Jeffers and an RBI double from Solano. But the true story of the game, that was pitcher Pablo Lopez making history.
It's 2 down. Line drive, left center, Taylor to his right. He's there. He's got it. Ball game over. And the Twins shut out the Royals 5-0. Pablo Lopez throws his first career complete game shutout. And for the Twins, they get their second complete game shutout in nearly 2 weeks.
Yeah, Joe Ryan had that other complete game shutout this season against the Boston Red Sox on June 22nd. The Twins are now one of 4 teams this season who have multiple pitchers to throw complete game shutouts. Lopez also fanned a new career-high 12 batters. What a night for him. The Twins completed the sweep of the Royals with that 5-0 victory. That's a look at our Twins Rewind. Now we're at the park courtesy of Treasure Island Resort and Casino with Corey Provis and Dan Gladden. First of all, you guys, happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Always great to share the day with my man here, the Cupertino Kid. But more than that, welcome Lexi Schweinert to the pregame show officially. We've heard your voice throughout the year. But finally filling in for Chris here tonight. Welcome to the booth. Great to have you on board.
Thank you. I'm so excited, and I'm just so in awe that you guys have the same birthday. That's just
pretty
amazing. But, Corey, I'm going to start with you talking about this matchup. Cole Irvin going for the Orioles today. We just saw him Sunday, literally 5 days ago. He wasn't exactly sharp. He allowed 6 hits, but the Twins only scored 1 run. Seems like the Twins are kind of struggling against lefties this season.
Yeah, that's been an ongoing theme, why this team has just not been able to do much damage against lefties, whether it's been Irvin or other guys. It just has not made a ton of sense. But Danny, thinking back to what Cole Irvin did against the Twins last weekend, you know, here was a guy whose four-seam fastball has just been pulverized this season, so he only threw that pitch 3 times. He went cutter heavy against the Twins, so noticing that, hey, my four-seam fastball has not been playing well, let's do something else, and he relied heavily on his cutter last weekend.
Well, he did. I'm sure he's going to rely on that again also here tonight. But don't forget, this guy danced around trouble the whole game. He was in trouble in the first inning, second inning, third inning. It was just the lack of the offense of the Minnesota Twins to come with that big blow, and hopefully that can be the case here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to talk about Twins starting pitcher Danny Bailey Ober is on the mound. He's coming off maybe his best start, and it was against the Orioles. What are you liking from him this season?
Well, I think if he pitches like that, he's going to be allowed to go a complete game shutout. And I think that what's going on with the Twins right now, especially with his pitch count at 85, it's kind of a neat little ball game. He was dialed in. He had everything going with him. So hopefully he can kind of get back in what we call into that zone again here against a tough Baltimore club that's coming here from New York. Just got done playing high-leverage baseball in New York.
Yeah, he was very efficient against the Orioles last Saturday. 85 pitches, went deep into the ball game. And I wonder, Danny, if this Baltimore team is almost going to seek and look changeup early, because that changeup was dancing to righties, to lefties, if they're going to almost look changeup and adjust to his low 90s fastball tonight.
I think that, you know, if he's got command of that changeup, it's going to be tough regardless if you're looking for it or not. I just think the first couple innings is a big kind of a feel the team out, what approach they're going to make offensively, and also what's working for that pitcher out there. I think that key for Irvin here tonight is just that cutter for him if he throws it for a strike.
Yep. Thank you guys so much. It's going to be such a good matchup. These teams just saw each other, and the Twins are so hot right now, winning 5 of their last 6 games. We've been at the park thanks to Treasure Island Resort and Casino, the exclusive casino sponsor of the Minnesota Twins. The island is your destination for all things fun. Visit ticasino.com to plan your visit. Well, Corey and manager Rocco Baldelli chatted before the game. Corey asked him how the Twins held a good Orioles lineup to only 3 runs last series.
I think it's mainly because of our guys that went out there and executed and did the job to a very, very high level. Listen, our starters have been good all season long, but when you go into a series against the Orioles and you only give up a few runs the entire series, you're doing something seriously right. It's not luck. I want to give our guys credit. They threw the ball good.
Yeah, the guys who started last weekend were Lopez, Ober, and Sonny. This week, it's going to be Ober, Sonny, and Joe Ryan. You can hear the full conversation coming up next, including Rocco's thoughts on how he prepares for seeing the same pitcher multiple times in such a short window. That's right here on your home for Twins baseball. Welcome back to the pregame lineup card. This is Lexi Schweinert in for Chris Atterbury. It's the last series before the All-Star break, the Orioles and the Twins at Target Field. Well, Corey Provis chatted with manager Rocco Baldelli before the game. Their conversation brought to you by UCare.
Lexi, thank you. It's the final series before the All-Star break. Twins take on the Baltimore Orioles on a lovely Friday night here in downtown Minneapolis. And Rock, the team had an off day at home yesterday, which is always ideal, having these off days at home, especially just before the All-Star break. But let's reflect, if we can, going back to Wednesday night. And Pablo Lopez, like Joe Ryan, 2 guys that had never thrown a complete game shutout in their careers. And now we saw both do that in a span of about 2 weeks.
Yeah, pretty amazing stuff. You don't see these types of outings in the big leagues anywhere these days, not like we used to. Just a great outing by Pablo. I mean, he went through a stretch in the game where he just missed a ton of bats and struck a bunch of guys out. Then, he got even more efficient, getting those really fast outs late in the game. Just an amazing effort all the way around.
He was saying that, in a given season, you make 30, 32 starts, only a handful of times. Are you really going to have a feel for every single pitch? And Pablo mentioned that, yeah, that was the case, that I just had a comfort where everything was going once it left my hand. Is that fair? I mean, is it a 30, 32 starts? Is it about 5 or 6 times that you've had conversations with pitchers and coaches about, yeah, I have my A game tonight?
Yeah, and I think that's totally accurate. I think that's what I've heard from most of the good pitchers that I've been around, and most of the coaches too. It is rare for guys to have everything working. I think the biggest question for a lot of these guys, they would say, what am I going to do in those other starts? How are those other starts going to go when I don't have everything working? This past start for Pablo was just, it's sensational, obviously. Everything that he did was right. But it's those other starts, what do? You grind through it. You use the pitches that you do have. You execute the pitches that you feel comfortable with, and still find ways to get out. So that's what makes a Major League season going 32 starts pretty challenging.
Now, speaking of starting pitching, Bailey Ober has the ball here tonight for the Twins in Game 1. Last time we saw Bailey was in Baltimore last Saturday. He threw a shutout. Didn't go all 9, but came awfully close in a dominant showing. Was it his changeup that was working best last weekend in Baltimore?
He had a lot of things working. He was about as sharp as he's ever been against them. I would say the slider that he used a lot against even the left-handed hitters was probably the biggest difference maker for him in the game. He had to have everything going the way that he threw the ball, because they're a good offensive club, and you're going to need a lot of different pitches to get those different guys out. But I think his ability to kind of sweep that pitch across the zone and get in on them was something that worked.
When you look at your lineup right now and you're seeing a lefty in Cole Irvin, again, you saw him back on Sunday. Thinking back to that game, right, there were some good swings early against him, but you didn't get the base hit or the home run that you thought you maybe were going to see when you just listened to the contact and saw some of the advanced numbers. But with what you saw against Kansas City, how this offense performed, is this the ideal lefty you want to see tonight?
Well, it is the big leagues. There's never any, truly ideal situations. And I think me, Corey, I kind of want to take a step back and go, did we swing the bats good last time we faced Irvin? I think we did. I think it's one of those rare games, like you said, where we barreled up a bunch of balls, didn't get much out of it. But it doesn't mean necessarily we're going to barrel those balls up again unless we do our jobs. We have to go out there, prepare for this guy again, all over again, go out there and grind through the at-bats and find the barrel again. I think if we find the barrels today like we did the last time out, I think we'll score some runs, but we have to do it.
Going back to your playing career, when you would study film, when you were seeing the same pitcher for that pitcher in back-to-back starts, what were some of the things you would try and study about what you saw and how you performed against that arsenal of pitches maybe 5 or 6 days earlier?
I think simply expecting a guy guy to do something completely different is something I would hesitate to do. So meaning I would want to make the pitcher make adjustments before I went out there and just expected him to make adjustments. I would probably attack the at-bats in a fairly similar way. And if he starts to show signs of doing something completely different, then you can move from there. But these guys tend to have similar moves, similar pitches, in similar locations that they want to throw. So, looking for those pitches and being prepared for them, I think, is the best thing to do.
Thanks for the time. Good luck here tonight.
Thanks a lot, Corey.
Rocco Baldelli. Lexi, back to you.
Thank you, Corey. Again, like Rocco said, the Twins had good at-bats against Irvin in their last outing against him. They had 6 hits, walked 3 times, but only managed 1 run. So the question is, are they going to be able to take advantage of those opportunities tonight? That conversation with Rocco Baldelli brought to you by UCare, people-powered health plans. Well, don't go anywhere. Coming up after the break, we have a brand new farmer's market. Kyle Farmer spills the details of how he's spending his all-star break. That's next, right here on your home for Twins baseball.
You're listening to the Treasure Island Baseball Network.
Welcome back to the pregame lineup card. This is Lexi Schweinert in for Chris Atterbury. The Twins are getting set for Game 1 versus the Orioles, and this series is brought to you by Royal Credit Union, where you get more free, less fee, and great rates. You can learn more at rcu.org. Well, every Friday we take a trip to the farmers market, and what's fresh this week is talking about the Midsummer Classic. Here's Chris.
It is time for the farmers market. It is the Friday before the All-Star break. Still some baseball to be played, but joined by Kyle Farmer, and people always who aren't in the game talk about the All-Star break. And the first question I always get is, hey, you going to watch the game? And my answer is always, absolutely not. Now, as a player, you have friends that are participating. You have guys you know. Do you pay attention to the All-Star game and festivities?
Yeah, I watch it. If it's on TV, if I'm at like a bar or a restaurant and it's on, I'll watch it. I enjoy it. I mean, hopefully Sonny gets in there to pitch, and looking forward to watching him play and pitch. Yeah, I do have some friends playing in it, so I like to follow them.
Tell me the process where the players have a vote. No one's ever completely happy with how this goes together. How seriously do you take that? I mean, when you get that, these are your peers, but this is serious for a lot of guys. It can mean money, it can mean jobs, it can mean a lot of things.
Yeah, I was on the plane sitting next to Sonny when we were looking at the roster, and on the roster it says player voted or MLB voted. And Sonny was actually voted by the players, and we thought that was really, really cool because guys that you play against or you play with, and they vote for you, that's a lot of respect. I think that goes along a lot further than MLB voting for you in or however else you get voted in. But I think that, they should take which I think they do, the player vote pretty seriously because, I mean, the fan vote's great. I mean, but you're going to get the guys you watch on ESPN every day, and sometimes you won't see Sonny pitch all the time, but guys who have faced him are like, this guy's an all-star. So I think the player vote goes a long way.
Yeah, definitely a level of respect, and I think every player wants respect from their peers first and foremost. So what do the Farmers do for the All-Star break?
We're going out to Wyoming. We're going to go and stay at the Four Seasons and enjoy the I guess, what is that, the Midwest? What do you call that, the West?
That's my part of the world. That is the Rocky Mountain West. If you stay in the Midwest, in Jackson, they will ride you out of town on a rail.
Jackson Hole, that's where we're going. So we're going to take McCoy out there and enjoy the outdoors and maybe go on a few hikes. I really want to see Yellowstone and drive out there. I think it's an hour away. And so, we're just going to go out there, hang out, and relax.
Now, when we first met, you were out in Colorado. The family was skiing. You were doing some fishing. You're going to wet a line out there. Phenomenal trout fishing in the Jackson area.
If my wife lets me get out for a couple hours, I might do that. But I think this is more for her than for me. The wife grinds through the season as well, so she might get a few massages and hang out, and I'll just take McCoy and hopefully see some moose or some elk.
I think you will definitely see some moose and some elk. And McCoy has a perfect Western name, so I think he's going to blend in quite well. Physically and mentally, the break obviously is a big deal because you've been at it since February on your body, in particular you. I mean, you've lost some teeth, you lost a car. It's been a hell of a first half. What needs more of a break, your body or your mind?
I think more mentally than anything. I think, we're in this grind every day, doing the same thing every day, and it gets kind of tiring, but it's fun. But mentally, you just got to sit back, maybe have a glass of wine, relax, and not have to worry about the next day, what you're going to do the next day. You can just wake up and just kind of relax and kind of have a normal life.
Last thought, first half, it's been up, it's been down, it's baseball, that's to be expected. Do you like where you guys are mentally as a group heading into the break?
I do like where we are mentally. Our record might not show it, but we're getting closer as a team. we're coming together, we're playing well together, and we're rooting for each other again. And I think guys are just happy where we are, and hopefully the break will give us some reboost and come back and start where we left off.
There it is, another edition, an all-star edition of the Farmers Market.
Thank you, Chris. So cool to hear Kyle talk about his All-Star break plans, including hopefully watching his teammate Sonny Gray pitch in Tuesday's game. Thanks to Chris for that edition of the Farmers Market. And up next, we're going to check in with Jose Miranda and see how he is feeling since being recalled from St. Paul. That's going to be right here on your home for Twins baseball. Welcome back to the pregame lineup card. This is Lexi Schweinert in for Chris Atterbury. And we are counting down the minutes to the first pitch between the Minnesota Twins and the Baltimore Orioles. Before we wrap up the pregame show, let's check out the Select Heartland Chevy Dealers Twins storyline. Coming off of a strong finish to his rookie year campaign, big things were expected from Jose Miranda here in 2023. But it was a very slow start to this season. He was hitting .209 with 13 RBI through 35 games and was sent down to St. Paul in May. He was called back up to the majors this past Sunday after Royce Lewis went on the IL. Jose talks about what he was working on in AAA.
Obviously working on the defense side, trying to get better at both sides of the ball, third, first, and just making adjustments obviously at the box. Trying to, get something to click. Been making adjustment for like a month. So, this is how baseball is. Obviously it's like you gotta go through some ups and downs, and obviously it hasn't been my greatest time, but just gotta keep battling and keep playing.
He played in 29 games with the Saints, hitting .255 with 3 homers and 23 RBI. He said he learned a lot about himself during that time.
Just knowing who I am, just knowing what I'm capable of doing, and just thinking of the things that I've done good in the past, and just not thinking about the stuff in the present, obviously, because, sometimes you get stuck in what is happening at the moment, and you just got to turn the page off and, think about the good things, the good moments, and
I'm sure there are a lot of emotions that come with being sent down to AAA, then called back up to the majors. Pitcher Brent Hedrick can relate. He also saw Jose's progress in St. Paul up close and personal.
Yeah, you come up here and you want to help the team win. And when you go back down, right away, you're just trying to get back as quick as possible. But you just got to focus on where you're at in the moment. And I think, especially with him, he went down and, the big leagues will tell you what you need to work on and things like that. And for me, it was, throw that third pitch. And for him, whatever it could be, I'm not sure. But, he worked really hard down there, hit really well. And he came back up here and, ready to see what he can do.
Since Miranda has been back up, he's played in 3 games at third base. He has yet to have a hit, but has only struck out once in 7 at-bats. He said moving forward, it's all about keeping perspective.
Yeah, it's hard. It's such a long season, but I don't know, just mindset, the people that you have around, obviously your family, friends, obviously just trying to stay positive, man. It's such a long season and such like a roller coaster.
Great mindset to have. That's Jose Miranda. He is in the lineup tonight, batting 6th and playing 3rd. That's our Select Heartland Chevy Dealers Twins storyline. Log on to ChevyDealOnline.com to find a dealer near you. That does it for the pregame lineup card. Coming up next, Corey and Danny are going to have the anthem, lineups, and first pitch for Game 1 of the Orioles-Twins matchup. That's next, right here on your home for Twins baseball.